Are you looking to make some serious shoulder gains? If so, today's workout is for you. Hi, I'm Erin. I am a self-coached, lifetime natural bodybuilding athlete. I've won Olympia a couple of times, and on this channel, I love to share my workouts with you, tips and tricks, and also cues that you can use in order to get more out of your workouts. Now, this Smith machine, it's one of my favorite pieces of equipment because it gives you the flexibility of free weights, meaning you can position yourself in so many different ways, but you also have that stability of working on a fixed plane. So you're not using as many stabilizer muscles or as much core, and you can focus more on just pulling or pushing the weight versus having to balance yourself. Now, if you don't have access to a Smith machine, or let's say your machine is at a weird angle or it's like 900 pounds, don't worry, I'm gonna leave some exercise substitutions in the description below. And as always, when we're working on one piece of equipment, don't monopolize the machine if someone's waiting. You can always leave and come back when the gym isn't as crowded using the exercise substitutions listed below. Now, if your goal is not to make some serious shoulder gains, let's say you just want to maintain your hard-earned muscle, you can still do this workout while you're in a caloric deficit because it's going to help maintain your hard-earned muscle. Without further ado, let's hit the gym and build some shoulders. Our first exercise is a high incline shoulder press. Now, what you want to do is set the bench up to just beyond perpendicular to the floor. So instead of 90 degrees, you maybe want 75 to 80 degrees. And what this is going to do is it's going to set you up into proper pressing position. It's going to be a lot kinder on your shoulders. And make sure the bar as it descends is very close to your nose and chin. So you do want the bar to be close to your face and close to your body, but of course not too close. You don't want to chip a tooth. And you're going to grasp the bar using an overhand grip, thumbs overlapping the bar. Hands should be about 1.5 times shoulder width. And you want to make sure that you keep your wrists nice and straight, and your forearms are going to be under the bar with the elbows pointing down. And as you lower the bar, make sure that you are doing it nice and slow, focusing primarily on using those delts to control the weight. Now you're going to pause momentarily and really work on that mind-muscle connection as you pause. So send that energy to your delts. Think about your front and your side delts and think about pressing upwards and keeping your shoulders down at the same time. So you don't want your shoulders to necessarily follow the path of the bar. You want to think about a nice pure press. Next exercise is a single arm upright row. Now, we're doing single arm because this is going to allow you to have a neutral grip, and you're also going to be able to manipulate hand placement here. So you can place your hand just a little bit in front of your body, next to your body, or even a little bit behind your body, depending on how you want to target the shoulder and how you want it to feel. Now, personally, I like to place my hand just in front of my body using a neutral grip. So my palm is going to be facing my body, and feet are going to be shoulder width, maybe a little bit more narrow, and keep a nice soft knee, as this is going to help absorb any kind of momentum that you might be accumulating. Now, for this, I like to start with my weaker side or my non-dominant side and let that dictate the number of reps I'm going to do on my dominant side. And as you start this exercise, think about keeping your forearm perpendicular to the floor, and you are just simply pulling the bar straight up. And I like to stand about 6 to 8 inches away from the bar. And standing a little bit further away from the bar is going to give you more of a wide grip, which can also be a lot more shoulder friendly. Now, as you switch sides, just keep a mental note of where your foot is so you can have that same distance from the bar on the other side. And also keep a mental note of where your grip was on the other side, because you want to be a mirror image from left side to right side. And as you're pulling up the bar, you want to think about keeping your shoulder nice and low and almost relaxing those traps. The effort is going to come primarily from those side delts. Next exercise is a lunge stance shoulder press. Now, for this exercise, you don't need to do lots of weight. Mini Smith machines start with 10 or 15 pounds, so you can start with an unloaded bar, and you can also experiment with how you do that lunge stance. So whichever foot forward feels most comfortable is totally fine, but you do want a wider base here. So you want to make sure that when you get into that lunge stance, that front leg and back leg are at a good 90-degree angle to give you a solid foundation to be able to press from. Now, similar to the upright row, we're going to be using a neutral grip, and this is going to be kind to the shoulder, and it's also going to help us really target that side delt. Now, with this exercise, you want to think about the elbow being under the bar, and you can also experiment with your distance from the bar. I like to be a little bit closer on this one because I feel like it gives me better pressing power, but you can scoot away from the bar if you'd like. And similar to the upright row, you want to start with your non-dominant side and then switch sides and let the number of reps on that non-dominant side dictate how many you do on that strong side. This is going to help even out any asymmetries. Now, when you're taking your grip, make sure you're wrapping your thumb around the bar and that you're pressing that bar upwards. And you want to give it a good amount of power on the way up and nice and slow and controlled on the way down. And I like to go below parallel with my upper arm because I feel like it is going to give me a greater range of motion. Anytime you're able to increase that range of motion, you're stretching those muscles a little bit more and you're creating controlled micro tears, which can help to lead to better gains. Next exercise is a rear delt row. Now for this, in order to hit the rear delts, we are going to go a little bit lower in terms of upper body. So instead of standing upright, I want you to think about bending over the bar more. And this is going to really help target those rear delts. I like to use a wider grip here, overhand grip, thumbs wrapped around the bar. And for this, you want to try to keep your upper body as stable and still as possible. So you're going to have a slight bend to the knee, and you really want to think about that fulcrum point, the shoulder and the elbow. And that is really the only thing that should be moving. And as you pull, I want you to think about pulling your elbows upwards versus back like you would to engage your back. With that pulling upwards with the elbow, you're going to better target those rear delts, which is going to help really finish out that V taper and give you that lovely width across your back. Our last exercise is a front raise. Now for this exercise, you may have to experiment just a little bit with foot placement and distance from the bar. And I like to use an unloaded bar here or very lightweight because you're going to kind of rotate yourself around the bar as you lift it up. And you'll take your stance. I like to push my weight through the heels a little bit more. I feel like it helps me swing with the motion of the bar just a little bit better. You're going to extend your arms straight out, but try to keep a soft elbow if possible. You don't want to necessarily lock the elbow, and you're going to use an overhand grip here. So thumbs are going to be wrapped around the bar, overhand grip, about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit wider. See how it feels for you. And what you're going to do is start with the bar at right about hip height, and then you're going to think about lifting the bar straight upwards, simultaneously leaning back as you do. And you're going to feel it a little bit in your side delts, but you will feel it primarily in those front delts. And as you get to that mid-rep point, I want you to think about slowly lowering the bar back down and bringing your upper body back towards the bar. So it is all just one fluid movement. As you're lifting the bar up, you're leaning back. As you bring the bar back down, you are coming forward with your upper body. When it comes to making gains, make sure that each week you're going a little bit heavier, so that's about 5 to 10% heavier each week, or you're increasing your volume about 5 to 10% each week. So for example, if you're doing 3 sets of 8 this week, maybe next week you'll move on to 3 sets of 9, or you'll go up by about 2.5, maybe 5 pounds, depending on how much weight you're already lifting. This is going to help to ensure that we continue to challenge the muscle, because you're going to get stronger over time, and it's important to continue to challenge yourself over time to continue to see those gains. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and please remember to subscribe if you want more content like this, and visit my website if you want done-for-you workout programs. Most of them can be done in the gym or at home, your choice. That's it for this time. Until next time, thanks for watching, and train hard, y'all.